So welcome to this stream where we paint on a blank canvas with viewer suggestions. So let's just see if anyone is here. I made a little suggestion box asking people to say what kind of colors we should start with. And the most popular one was blue. It was pink for quite a while, but then it turned into blue. As always, I need to see if everything is set up properly here. But once it is, we can start here. Let's click on Top Chat. Let everyone join. I'm gonna have to go into YouTube like I always do here because everything doesn't work properly. So I just wanted to see what we did. As I did last time, I'm just gonna start with a color, and if the suggestions come, I'm just going to switch into the suggestion. If nothing comes, I'm just going to keep painting what kind of feels right until something comes, and then go into that. So what I just have to do here, I just have to find my own little live stream here so that I can see people, and then let's start. There, good evening, Katha, Jennifer, Luna, welcome to the stream. I did get a new haircut. I was in the city, so for the first time in a very, very long time, I actually had someone else cut my hair, which was probably a good idea. First time in 2-3 years, I think. So now I can actually show it from behind. Oh, let's see, I have some issues seeing the people in my stream, so I actually need to log in here, see my own stream, and then we can start. Never mind, let's do that later. Let's just begin. Okay, my camera has some issues. These are just things that always happen. All right. Hi Joachim, how are you? I am good. Orange and brown. Well, we did, you can see, yes, audio is not in sync with the video. Let's fix all of these things first. So I think that's hopefully my mic, and we need to have it on a different setting. Let's see, I think this is better. Okay, let me know if it is. No, it's not synced yet. Then we'll just do something like this. That might not be synced either. Let me know if it gets synced, because that could be really annoying. It's good now? Okay. Then I'm just going to move this a little bit away so that I'm not messing up the picture too much. Something like this. Alright. That seems good. It seems to be synced. We have the camera here. That is not synced at all. I hate these issues. Okay, so that's my iPhone camera. It needs to be on. It looks good. well, that probably doesn't have to be synced as well as everything else, but it's not synced at all here. So let's see if we can't fix that. I was a little bit late with everything today, so I haven't had time to fix everything here. So I hoped I might be able to. Anyway, oh, very annoying. I had hoped just to jump into the painting right away. Anyway, how is everyone? Let's talk a little bit about you guys until I fix everything here. That doesn't look good, but it is synced. All right. someday everything is going to go well. There we are. Okay. So the YouTube, no, the Instagram story said let's start with blue. So as I start with blue, let's just think about what we're gonna do after the blue has been done. So the reason I did the story was just so that we have something to begin with. Okay. That is very good, Luna. Okay, let's hope that this stays here. Might have something to do with my battery thing. Let's disconnect that. Focusing it. And let's start. Okay. So now that we are doing a blue color and everything is going well, we can start with the suggestions. So as I was saying, I have no idea what we're going to be doing here today. I just did the poll and it said blue. It almost turned into yellow or pink for a while there. And then now we have started with blue and light brown after blue. Very good. Hi Jennifer, welcome everyone to the stream. So nice to have you here. Okay. Light brown after blue. If we do light brown, we can, oh, you can see my palette here. I'm glad about that. Let's do some light brown. That is a very good thing. Often just starting with some light brown after some blue, that's going to give us a really nice little background to paint everything else on top of. So I didn't have light brown on my canvas here, so I'm just going to mix some colors so that we get some light brown here. Okay, I can settle down a little bit. And a little, okay, let's see. Light brown after blue, yellow, and then we can go over to green. Yes, and a little bit of yellow. So, okay, we have light brown here. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of yellow. Since you didn't specify where, I'm just going to have to put it in. And you said go over to green, so I'm going to put in a little bit of blue that just mixes into green here. So, okay, we have a little bit of brown, we have some blue, we have some yellow. And nice to be with you. Yes, you have. It's nice to see all of your videos, and it's nice to have you here in the stream now. Yeah, that then connects everything together again. Yeah, so we have a little bit of yellow, we have a little bit of green, there is some brown in here. And just the suggestions can just keep coming. Everything that we kind of, I think we're almost at the point where we can have some more suggestions here. This always looks, but it's like that with every painting. It looks like a mess until, well, until it doesn't, until at some point everything kind of comes together. So as I said, when there are no suggestions, I just keep painting, and then we'll just take a hard right turn at every time any suggestion comes, and we'll fulfill those. So I'm really not going to make many impulses myself. I'm just going to kind of let the hand go until suggestions come. Warm orange, very good. So we'll have some warm orange, some kind of orange red. Just put that in here. Kind of gives it this evening color. White fluffy clouds, maybe a bright day, and then suddenly, very good, all right. The fluffy clouds, okay, well, let's try. This is really wet and wet. So white is going to be somewhat difficult. I'm just going to put white in, and that's going to have to kind of mix in with the blue. So now it's turned more into a daylight. Let's see here. All right. So we have some white clouds going. They just have to mix a little bit into everything else. So we have a warm orange here. That's going to make the sunset. Then we have some warm, some white fluffy clouds. Yeah, I always love this process, and it's a lot of fun to do it a little bit more kind of quick and almost abstract than I usually do. Okay, so we have some fluffy white clouds. Just kind of turn it a little bit more into day. All of this, as always, we can just come back to later. Maybe there's a waterfall. Maybe there is. Welcome to the stream, Sarah. There sure is a waterfall. Now that you mention it, I remember there is a waterfall here. So I think the waterfall just kind of comes like in here. So now that you mention it, there is absolutely a waterfall. Comes down here, goes into the water here, and then the water runs in here. Very good, Luna. So, and around the waterfall, of course, we have the beginning of our landscape taking shape. The water rushes down here. And as I said, just let the suggestions come, anything that you kind of think of, and we'll just put it in, and the landscape will kind of just create itself here. Now we have a waterfall. Mountain and a waterfall. Okay, so we have mountains then. Then we have, let's put in the mountains. Then we have some mountains here off in the background. They kind of create the far off distant landscape, and then the waterfall comes in here. So the mountains come in like so. There we are. Maybe a forest in the background of the waterfall. Okay, let's see. Do I have my forest? My quick forest brush. I just have to see if I can't get some more brushes here. For this kind of quick painting, there are some kind of brushes that are just really handy for that. Okay, so there's a forest in the background of the waterfall. Let's see, there. Any ideas of kind of forest? I'm just going to put in some shadows of the forest. So okay, the forest comes in there. Something like that. So the waterfall comes in through the forest. Like that. Pine trees, very good. We have. Put down some branches here already, just so we have some more idea of the trees. Whew. All right, things are already starting to happen. And of course, like always, when this dries, it's going to be easier to harmonize things. But let's see how far we get. Well, as long as there are no suggestions, I just kind of keep working on the details. Some colorful spring flower. Okay, yeah, absolutely. And flowers always scare me a bit. I always wait much longer to paint flowers into a painting. But you guys always suggest them really quickly. So we have some flowers. Do we have, well, as long as you don't tell me what kind of flowers, I'm just going to put in some flowers that I know how to paint. I made the mistake last time to prompt you as to what kind of flowers I was going to paint. Of course, you can't tell me, but if you don't, I'm just going to quickly paint some forest flowers that I know. Let's see, what kind of flowers do I know? While I think I'm just going to make a little line around the water. And make some lines here so that we know where the water is going. Flowers, flowers, flowers. Welcome, Kaylin. This went really... Oh, I almost put my brush into my tea. Okay. Oh yes, some pink ones for a contrast or bright yellow ones. Let's see. Then I'm just going to make some pink ones first. Some kind of reddish pink ones. Kind of a deep red with a little bit of a white pink. Gonna... what kind of flowers? Wrong brush. I need some more brushes, believe it or not. Always have the right ones. Okay, some pink flowers in the foreground. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put them down for color here. Something like this. And then we can just put the color kind of in here. I am working on the new launch, which is actually not going to be as I thought it was going to be the universe. It's going to be very, very close up things, so very, very small. Okay, no new suggestions, which means that I can paint in these pink flowers more. So what I'm actually doing now is I am working on some Norwegian wildflowers that are pink, but I don't think I know them well enough to paint them this quickly. So what we wanted the pink for, the flowers for, was this color. So if we have some of them really close here, we can just put this the kind of color into the landscape here. All right. And then you can work a little bit on that. So the let's see, landscape around the waterfall. Okay, he's going deep down. Yeah, I think we're gonna have quite a powerful waterfall here. So, and Jennifer's orange. Let's get a little bit more brightness to that orange. Warm orange, Jennifer said. Framing the mountains a bit and kind of coming up into the sky. Into Luna's clouds. Some snow on the mountains. Let's put some snow on the mountains. A little dusting of snow on the top of the mountains. This looks suspiciously like our last painting. But, I mean, with a waterfall, with some differences. I have to finish the last painting. I'll have to finish it and then show you how it turned out. Alright. A shiny orange-yellow sun on the horizon. Very good. Let's get a yellow sun onto the horizon here. And we can kind of light up the sky. Something like this. I have to be careful not to just become a mud mixer. I have a lot of colors here at play. And it should be alright. What do you think about a big fallen tree? Very good. Absolutely. I will paint what you tell me to, and we'll see how it turns out. I mean, most things is absolutely possible to turn into something nice, and that doesn't sound too bad. Definitely. Let's just try to get the sun in. Let's get Jennifer's sun in, and then we'll then we'll get Katha's tree in here. Definitely. All right. So I'll just get that a bit. We'll have to get those clouds into the painting again. So it's always allowed to suggest something that then kind of removes something else we've done. So that's the way I paint anyways, that if something else comes in, it's always possible to paint over something that came before. So don't get too attached to your suggestions. You can always just suggest that again. So it can go through different iterations. Okay, this sun we can let rest a little bit. If it dries, we can come over it. Okay, so what was the suggestion? A big fallen tree on the right corner in front of the painting with some moss on it. Very good, let's do that. So we have a big fallen tree on the right corner here. So let's get the, let's see, with some moss on it. Maybe some kind of a bush next to the waterfall. Details I'll leave up to you. Very good. Okay, so a bush next to a what? Some kind of a bush next to the waterfall. That can kind of be here. And the giant tree, I'll put the roots there. So let's have the root structure that kind of fell. And we'll have it have fallen over the water, over the stream, so that we can get some of that moss. It's fallen here. And we have some of the old branches still on it. Or maybe it was a pine tree that fell. I mean, all the trees here are pine trees. So it kind of fell over this. If the waterfall is quite big, we need to move it a little bit further away. Get the perspective right. So we'll have to put something here. Make a line there so that the waterfall is actually further away. Oh no, oh no, no, don't. There we are, okay. You absolutely have your own sun. Okay, no! No, there, okay. And let's focus it. There we are. Okay, so we have the tree. We wanted to put some moss on it, so I always like to just get the suggestions, get most of it right away so that I don't forget. So we wanted to have moss on the tree. It can kind of be growing up on top of the tree here. You can always come back to it. Then let's get Luna's, was it Luna's? Yes, Luna's Luna wanted to have a little bush here. Let's get some bright leaves onto that. With speed painting, it has to be kind of abstract, and then it's possible to just let it dry and you can go in and do all the details. Like so. The stream could go further under the tree. Absolutely, let's do that. So the stream comes here. And continues under the tree. like so. Thank you, Aman. Maybe a boulder. Okay, let's see if I have missed anything. If I miss anything, just write it again. I include absolutely everything that you put in here, as long as there are no animals or human things. Something is a bit strange with my camera here. We had this once before when it kept turning itself off. Let's hope that it... maybe a boulder. Maybe a boulder. Absolutely. Let's put in a boulder. So, a boulder underneath Jennifer's sun. We have Jennifer's boulder right here. I'll have to figure out why that happens. Like so. Is that something? We can always just say that that wasn't exactly what I thought, and we'll go back to it and change it. Your camera is trying to... Well, it's succeeding. It is definitely succeeding. Could add some stones along the stream. Let's add some stones along the stream. So we'll have some stones into the stream here, and we can add some into the waterfall. And we can make the water splash there, and we'll have stones here. Absolutely. Many stones. Very good. Many, many stones. Let's have many, many, many stones. So, why does that happen? Why does that happen? Let's try to plug in the battery again. But that was the very thing that I thought. Alright, I'm just gonna have to see if I can't, if there's a battery thing. That's not it. Alright, let's hope that this works. Many stones. We are at many stones. Adding many stones. I'm just gonna add, I think we have quite a lot of stones here now. And we can always add more stones just everywhere. Whew. All right. Is this hopefully not? No, this doesn't seem to be too much out of sync. You could add some long grasses. Absolutely. Let's add some long grasses. Let's use our little grass brush and add some long grasses. This is going to drive me completely insane. It is way out of sync though, so that might be it. I think I know what I did. Let's hope that that's it. Think of wonderful ideas while I try to rescue my stream. Apparently that wasn't it. All right. Okay, that actually seems to be much more in sync. Okay, so there we wanted to add grasses. And maybe another boulder on the other side, a bit more in the back so it doesn't look alone. Absolutely. A little bit more in the, absolutely. Okay, so let's just add the boulder quickly, and then we can add the grass. So now we have some more boulders, making it more like kind of an ice age landscape, very much like we have here. So we'll just have more boulders, making it look more natural that this one is here. And we don't want the boulder to be lonely, so we've added in some more. And then we'll add in some grass. Let's see, if we add in some light grasses on the background. Just going to use our... well, it's not a fan brush, but it's the same concept. And it makes it really easy to add in some grass. And it seems to be staying now, which is good. My camera, I mean. Much too light. And let's just add in long grasses a little bit everywhere. And then let's see if there's anything I'm missing. No, I do not try. So nothing that humans do. No animals or human objects. Otherwise, you're quite free in your imagination. I should probably have stipulated that. I had to draw the line at the rabbit last time. Not a bad idea, but not into this painting. You could always have something that, for instance, beavers have made or something like that. So we can always make things that kind of look like that. Last time we had a little path, just imagine that it was kind of trodden by animals. So while I don't paint animals, I am happy to paint things that they have kind of impacted on the landscape. Okay, so now we have long grasses everywhere. Probably the trees do need to be a little bit bigger, since the landscape turned out to be closer than I had first thought. Meaning that the waterfall is a little bit smaller, but it's still quite large, I think. What do you think about a little path like the last time? So, yeah, so we can absolutely, we'll make a little, either a path that has simply kind of grown in that way, or maybe that's the kind of the way that the animals tread. Painted footsteps left by animals. I think I have once or twice, but that's almost a bit too fresh for my taste. If I paint in things from animals, it's something that's kind of left over many generations. I like the timelessness, and for me that's almost a bit too quick. One or two trees in the foreground might look... Absolutely. Okay, so we have to think then. The trees might make the... If you have a little path, a little way into the landscape. Let's paint the tree. Let's paint the trees, and maybe the kind of the path makes itself. So let's say if we have a little path here, and maybe you walk across or something like that. Let's paint in the trees, though. All right. Okay, let's paint in some trees. Any ideas as to how big and where the trees should be, or I'm just going to start painting them? So what we could do, the sun is going to need some more work, so I'm just going to paint one layer on top of the sun. Because if we paint trees in front of it, it's going to be difficult to come in here later. Although there is more work to be done on those clouds. Jennifer's sun could be a little bit more... Let's have it really radiant. And then we can put in some trees. So if this is fallen in this size, well, of course, the next one doesn't have to be that big. We can put in a tree like here. It can just be a child. I'm just going to paint it in quite a stark shadow first, because everything is so colorful here. The trees can be anywhere, but maybe on the right or left. They don't have to cover the sun. This is true. Okay, so we have a tree there. We have a different kind of tree here. And then we don't want this to be alone. So we'll put the other tree here. We'll make it a little bit lighter. Like so. That's lovely, Jennifer. Sap green leaves on one of the trees. Very good. Definitely. So this one then will have sap green leaves. That can be a kind of a birchy tree. We are looking forward to spring. So I'm just going to put down some quick branches here so that we can put the leaves on top of those. And sap green, let's see, sap green is kind of a lush green, yes? So, there we have it. Let's get those branches on the pines quickly though, before we do the leaves on the tree. The palette is a complete mess, but I can live with that. There. Let's get some of those. Oh no! Okay. I think it's if it's not in sync, it gives me issues. Let's turn the program off and on once and hope that that works. All right. And maybe we want to go in a little bit closer so that you can see the landscape more properly. For some reason, nothing here is very well in sync, but there I think you can see the landscape a little bit better. Something like this. There we are. All right, let's see, where were we? The branches of the trees. Still have lots of time left. Need to slow down a little bit. All right. And we need to harmonize the painting a bit as well. So I'm just gonna slow everything a little bit down here. We have painted a lot of things. So I think I'm just going to slow down and make all of the details, harmonize everything. So we've kind of put down so much now, so I need to go around the painting a little bit and figure out where things are going to be. Thank you, Katha. Yeah, so I think you can always come with suggestions, but for now I think I'm just going to save those for a little bit later. I think for about 10-15 minutes now. Let's just go around the painting and kind of harmonize everything. So that's something I like to do once I've painted really quickly and I've figured out where everything should be. Then it's nice to just go around the painting and harmonize everything. So we're just going to go around here. first what I like to do is to remove any of the obvious lines, and then on top of that we can come in again and paint things in. So while painting abstract in the beginning is fine, I am not an abstract painter, so I like to remove my lines and then I like to come in afterwards and paint in the details. So what we can do here, for instance, is once we've removed the lines, we can come in with small precise lines of white and really delineate the clouds, for instance. Then we're going to go over that sun a bit. So we have the radiant shine of it, and we can use the color of that sun and paint into the clouds that are going to be closest. So what we can do, for instance, we can do that right away. We'll paint in a little bit of that kind of orangey pink, and we can trace some lines around the sun so that they show us where the clouds are, and then the clouds can turn white or other colors as they kind of go further off in the background. So something like this, and then we know where the clouds are going to be the closest to the sun. Let's paint some white lines here and really make the sun shine. So the clouds are going to be quite wild around the sun here, I think. We can always come back, but I like to get, oh, what do you think about sun rays which go into the landscape? Sun rays are wonderful, but for sunrise you always have to wait until the painting has dried once, because of course you want the sun rays to go on top of the landscape. And when you then paint in the rays, that's going to remove the paint if that hasn't dried. So sun rays are a wonderful idea, but they actually do need to wait until the painting has dried for almost a week with oil paint. Then you can paint in the sun rays. I have some huge issues here with my latency. Which is why this keeps going off and on. No idea why that happens. It's very annoying. I apologize for that. If I stop recording, maybe that can become a little bit better. Okay, I'll have to remove a few things here. Well, I think I just have to accept that this is one of those streams where we have technical issues like most of them. At some point, these will all be gone. Hi Lynn, welcome to the stream. Let's hope that once you've joined, all of these technical issues are gone. So we have come quite far, and we are now at the stage in the painting where I am slowing everything a little bit down, trying to fulfill all of the wonderful suggestions that we have had here. So a lot of things have happened, and what I'm trying to do at the moment is to just go around the painting and kind of harmonizing everything, making it look more realistic. And once we've done that, it's possible to continue. So one of the first suggestions were these snow-capped mountains and the sun. The waterfall was one of the absolutely first ones. Let's go into that waterfall and let's actually paint the water here. So the water is hitting the ground, and let's get a different brush. Let's get a different brush going. And paint the rushing water. So it's hitting the top of these, connecting to something. It might just simply be the internet connection, which isn't that great here now. We could add some foam at the, yes, absolutely. So at this stage, those kind of suggestions are easier to do because we're trying to kind of make everything come a little bit more to life. So we're focusing in on the small things. So let's add some foam. And that'll make it a little bit more three-dimensional and have more life. Yeah, it's definitely an internet thing. We should have really good weather now. So the internet shouldn't actually be an issue. But for some reason, it's having issues. I'm just going to remove all kinds of programs here that might be interfering with my internet connection. Maybe this will work. So we're adding foam to our water. Just getting that movement into the waterfall. This is probably not driving only me crazy. Oh, it's so much fun anyway, great time. Oh, thank you, Katha. I'm glad about that. Yeah, it's just a part of the stream, I suppose. Okay. So, let's get, I think I'm just going to do a little bit of work on these clouds here now that you can't see, but we have decided to just go with it, and there we are. With I don't mind the issues much either. All right, well, very good then. If it gets, well, we'll just have to try to live with it. All right. Let's do a little bit of work on these clouds, I think. So what we actually wanted, Luna's suggestion, were fluffy white clouds. And it's already dried a little bit. So we can actually get the clouds to be much more fluffier now already. It's something I really like about this time of year here. It's warm inside because of my oven, but it's really dry outside, and the air is drying out. So if I'm just using normal turpentine, it actually dries really quickly. And I'm not thinning much. So we're actually getting, so the painting's actually drying really, really quickly here. And it's possible to then paint on top of it almost right away. And then we can get Luna's white fluffy clouds. Kind of these little wild white fluffy clouds. I think Luna thought they might be a little bit more peaceful than this, but that's just the way it turns out. Like so, and I can see some there. Then I thought we might just do a little bit of work on those trees in the foreground. Then the picture is going to disappear for a second. Let's see. Let's get. Yes, a little bit of work on those trees in the foreground. I'm just going to take some time. Not stressed with the lovely technical issues. Okay, a little bit of detail work in the foreground and the middle ground on those trees. They are going to determine how big the waterfall is. I'm not going to make them too detailed, but I just wanted a little bit more. And then once they are done, we can actually put some of the sunlight on top of them. And once we get the sunlight into the painting, everything is going to look more proper. We're going to harmonize it all. Wonderful. So if we have the trees a little bit more detailed, the picture's going to disappear again. But there it is. I think it's just trying to stabilize. So we have a little bit more detail on the trees, and then I thought we'll just put a little bit of that color in. At this point, it's definitely possible to start coming with suggestions again. I just needed a little bit of time to go through a few of the things. But I think mostly we kind of have a lot of the painting established here. Because I'm not actually adding any new things. I'm not doing anything that wasn't suggested. What I'm just doing is I'm trying to actually now go and make the details of those suggestions happen. And since Jennifer's sun here is nice and shiny, we're just going to get a little bit of that light into the painting, and I think that's going to harmonize the painting, and everything kind of fits together more. And of course the tree still needs some leaves. I seem to remember we wanted some lush leaves onto that tree. Let's actually paint. It doesn't have to take too long. It doesn't have to have too many leaves either. We can just... I thought perhaps we'll do those individually instead of just spraying them on. I can't come up with everything else. Are the pink flowers a specific kind of flowers? No, they are no specific kind of flower. I thought maybe to do them in I'm not even sure what they're called. The Rustling, a Norwegian mountain flower, but they didn't turn out that way. So no, they're not a specific kind of flower. They can be. We can go in and change them into a specific flower. The flower I was thinking on is called, in Norwegian, is called crow's feet. Doesn't sound very nice. But that was the flower I was thinking about. We could, of course, turn pink flowers. We can always turn into fireweed. So I am imagining this is a birch. I know that the color is a bit strange, but you can always put that in later. But it doesn't have to be a birch. I'm just kind of using that as a template for this. Not sure if that was the color of leaf that you imagined, but I seem to realize here that they actually do have to be either really dark or really light, otherwise you can't really see them in the see them. Light green leaves on the birch and the typical white spots on the trunk. Very good. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Okay, then let's make it into a birch. So let's just make it into a birch then. The background is dark enough that that's possible. And the small branches on a birch are usually black anyway. This then needs to dry a little bit. It's difficult to do too much here because it's... What do we think of some tulips? Fireweed looks cool on you. Okay, good. Let's see. Well, we can always have some tulips for color. Fireweed might be nice too. There is a huge lag problem onto the painting. No idea why. So things got to take a little bit of time to just play out on my screen. Some tulips. Do we have any color preferences for those tulips? Just going to put in a little bit of that light from the sun here. So what I thought is if we have this green color here, just make it a little bit more, something like this. Put it onto the trees. And we'll put it a little bit into the landscape. And then I am curious as to see what color we are going to put into the landscape. Let's see. Yellow like the sun. It looks like... Yes, oh, this camera, it is... Why must it lag like this? See if I just do something like that. Oh, this is not good. Oh, that is... No. Why? I don't want to have 3 hands. I just want everything to work. I could have sworn there was a way to make this behave better. Very bright pink. Let's see. I could have sworn there was a way to just force this to... perform. But I think I must have, would have needed to do that beforehand. Oh well. Okay, it's the way it is. Let's see. Okay, so very bright pink together with purple. The only issue, of course, is but tulips might be a little bit easier. Let's see. What, of course, we could do, a suggestion I have, is a lot of you guys, we have about an hour left. And what I thought is this actually kind of needs to dry. But we have the other painting from... What we have is we have the other painting from the last stream. So let's see, what we could always do is that if this now dries, because it's so wet, it's really difficult to keep painting on it. We have the painting from the last stream. Oh, that's gonna take a while, of course, to... I am going to have to do something with this setup. I just have to do something with the setup because this should have... Let's see here. I hope you'll forgive me, but what I have to do is... something like this. I'm just going to have to try to do something. Let's see. So what I thought, we can see the other painting now. Yeah, well, at least you can see me in live time. This one is well, that's not that bad. It's not lagging an insane amount. So this painting is now completely dry, meaning that we can do a lot more here than we could with the other one. I'm just gonna try to get it a little bit into focus. I'm gonna have to do that here, obviously. Let's see if I can't... So now, of course, the question is going to be what we're going to do with this. Okay. Here now we can do basically everything. Because it's dry, we could put in sun rays, we can do all the things that I couldn't do last time. It's possible to do here. And I'm trying to remember all the things that we had planned. I'm just going to start and see if there are any... Hopefully I haven't lost everyone. And I'm actually still here. Hopefully you guys are still here. So, still here. Okay. You are still here. Very good. Need to put this on light so that all the messages are visible. Yes, this already has a combination. This started with purple, and then we kind of went from there. And what I thought is, I'm just going to start. Let's see if you guys have any suggestions as to how we continue. And I'm going to put in a few things that we couldn't do last time. But I don't want to paint in too much. We could add some flying leaf. We could add some, absolutely. But although it doesn't really have any leaves, it just has flowers. We could always, of course, bring in some wind. Just gonna let's get a few suggestions here. Add some flying leaves from the magnolia tree. You would have to add leaves first. And of course we can do things with the sky. Just gonna add in a little bit of white to the sun here because we can do that now. And make it go a little bit over everything. So it's a little bit of a relief now that it is dry. I think that's probably a way we can start to do this, to kind of start a new one and then go back on an old one. Flower leaves, they are currently in my garden. There we are again. Okay, we can add a little bit of wind to the painting if that's what you mean. If you want some wind and then the magnolia tree kind of is losing some of its leaves, that's possible. Flying leaves to the painting gives a magic atmosphere. This is true. But I think we're going to have some flying flower leaves then, flower petals. So what we can do is, first of all, it's now possible to make it lighter. Okay, some wind. Let's just add some wind. So everything is dry and it's possible to then add wind. Everything else has to then kind of bend in the wind. So I'm just going to add a layer of kind of mist coming in so that we can see that there is wind. We can take a little leaf from the Forces of Nature launch and put in some wind here. So I'm just going to add a layer of mist coming in through the painting, and then we'll just make everything move in that wind. So it can come over the lake, it can come in here, and then we'll just make everything bend to that wind. Make the grasses, make just everything move with the wind. And we'll have some, we can always put in some green leaves into the magnolia tree and then have those fly. So this is kind of putting in some atmosphere into the painting, and then we'll just make everything move according to it. And we might turn this into a much moodier painting. We can make the pine trees bend and everything. I'm just going to put a layer of mist in the very foreground too, and then it'll be possible to put things in there. We can spend a lot of times with these paintings and just have them go through different stages. I think that might be fun. Then after a couple of weeks we have gone through different stages. It'll dry in the meantime, and then we can come back and we can add more things. It's the way I paint anyway. It's things need to dry, and it'll be easier to understand why things need to dry, because for instance this we could never have done the first time we painted it. Now we'll make the branches move in the wind, and then we'll add some leaves on it, and we'll get everything into the foreground again. Well, that's good. I always love that. I always love that, Luna, to add mood into the painting, and it's going to be very interested to see here. So let's make those branches move. I always find that with these paintings that the more layers there are, the more alive the painting kind of becomes. Now, of course, we can put, for instance, we can put an entire branch in the foreground, and we can make it more three-dimensional, everything. So not everything has to be painted on, which means that some things kind of move back. Something like this. Misty Spring, yeah, absolutely. So that's the painting is kind of changing with time here. Yeah, Misty Spring Morning it turned into now. So I'm just going to do the branches first. A misty and windy spring morning. So of course the question is, are we going to have green branches, green leaves that go in the wind, or are we just going to have some of the white flowers drift off? I'm not sure if magnolia have leaves while they have flowers. That we might want to find out before we kind of add those. Because otherwise, if they only have flowers, we can just make the flowers drift off in the wind. So something like this. Since we have a red foreground, we should be able to have some of those flowers just kind of drift off. Petals, let's see. Petals, because the tree only has leaves or flowers. Yes, all right. So then we'll make the tree lose some flower petals. And they are red and white. Just going to try to do that on the palette and not mix them too much. I'll do some thick white so that we can really see it. And make those fly in the wind. I'll have to paint the flowers in such a way that they are being caught by the wind, and then some are then torn off and fly across the painting. Then we can go in and do some red afterwards. If I have really, really thick white here, it's going to be easier to see them. Because we already have quite a bright background here. And we can imagine that the wind just takes them all the way across. This is very much the centerpiece of the painting now, is this magnolia tree. Oh, they are starting to. Oh, that is so mean of you guys to tell me that. You wouldn't believe what we had this night. When we woke up in the morning, we had about 10 centimeters of snow added on to half a meter of snow we already have here. But at least inside I've planted something, so hopefully soon I'll start to have a little bit of springtime in my little atelier here. But I mean, it is nice to hear that there is spring somewhere else. Western Germany, yeah, that would be a lot warmer. I am starting to see the photos of people, kind of the crocuses are. I'm not sure what that is called in English, and all the spring flowers that are coming out. Sometimes I just have to look at the screen to see if this is actually turning out the way we want it, but I think it's kind of. Sometimes, of course, the wind can kind of whip it in a different direction, so let's have some of those kind of coming here and then kind of being picked up. You can imagine it can give a little bit of different movement to the wind here too. It doesn't have to be just straight. And I mean, some of the leaves can kind of be coming in this direction too, so we can have some larger ones here, I think. Petals, I mean. You can kind of imagine some of them coming more in this direction. Now for the actual flowers I would go closer and add some more detail, but I think I'm just establishing the colors here and the wind. Could be Aachen, alright. From, oh, I am missing things. Amman. Why am I not seeing what Amman wrote? Oh, Amman, you retracted your message. Let's see. From India, Amman, which part? Ah, there we are. Northern India in the Himalayas. Oh, right, 3 Celsius. Yeah, I think that's. We often think that India must be really warm. From the Himalayas, that must be amazing. Seeing those enormous mountains. Yeah, I kind of like the flying petals here. It's nice to hear where you guys are from, too, and imagining where you guys are sitting at the moment. Focus so much on everything that I'm painting and the speed here. But it's nice to hear a little bit about you guys. A lot of Central Europeans, one from the Himalayas, Holland. I'm not sure where magnolia trees are originally from. I don't think they're European, are they? Kind of seems like an Asian tree. Yeah, that is really nice, Catherine. I really enjoy that with these streams. I really have to make sure not to miss that, even if it's kind of a speed painting thing in the beginning. I mean, that's one of the nicest things with these streams, is this connection that we can create here. that is one of my goals, especially with the live streams, is much more than just painting. Is to create this community, and I really really enjoy that. Celsius, it really confuses me. From Caleb from the state. Yeah, Fahrenheit to Celsius is really really an issue. I think 37 Celsius is 0 degrees Fahrenheit, but minus 40 Celsius is minus 40 Fahrenheit. So there's some strange things going there. It's very very weird. Oh yeah, man, I can imagine those mountains must be just so amazing. 100 degrees Celsius, water is boiling, just as a reference. Yeah, well, the thing is that it doesn't really. There are very strange, confusing things going on with Celsius to Fahrenheit. So it's not something you can just calculate easily. There might be people that can, but it's not like in meters to yards or something like that. Someone does need to change that. Small village. Oh, lovely. Let's get a little bit of red into this. Just gonna add a little bit of kind of some red dots at first. In order to really make this detailed, I would need some more time focused on it. But I thought maybe we could, now that we have the tree kind of established, we can see that there is wind here. One thing I wanted to do is that I wanted to get a little bit of movement into these trees, because they are now not moving in the wind, and we can't have that. So let's just get the tops. Let's just get the tops moving. And if there are more suggestions now as to what we're going to do, that would be lovely. Otherwise, I'm just going to go around here trying to fix things. Those flowers, of course, need to be fixed at some point. 38 Fahrenheit now, which is 3 Celsius according to Google. Yeah, it's would be lovely to have just one system. As a European, I of course vote for Celsius. And I believe most people in the world use Celsius. I want to suggest something regarding the painting. Some morning dew. Oh god. That is a lovely idea, Kata. I am practicing right now. Because the next theme that I'm working on now is tiny worlds. So I am practicing going really really close and painting water and morning dew. The thing is that I can't yet. I haven't practiced enough. I mean, we can try. Thank you, Jennifer. I really like morning dew, and I really really like that idea. As I said, I am painting tiny worlds. We could kind of try to start doing something like that. I mean, I can try. So what were you saying? Some water drops on the plants. I have, it does need practice. It really does. I have practiced already quite a bit. And I have some paintings in the pipeline. Let's see if I have, do I have one here? I actually have, where did I put that? Let's see, I did have a painting here somewhere. So right now, this is the first painting that I am practicing on for the, well, this, oh shit. Okay, never mind. We have an enormous time lag, and that's just going to be annoying. I do not feel forced. I am, this is something I am working on at the moment. I'm just trying to consider how, why not? We'll try it. We'll try it. So what I practiced was just to paint a leaf, and then to just make a little round thing and see if that looks like water. my painting, of course, is lagging to an almost funny degree. So as I said, I am at the moment practicing these things. Since all of the things that I'm going to be painting on now are really, really, really close plants, mosses, three hands again. Yeah, this is just ridiculous. I'm watching myself paint, and I haven't touched the painting now in over 2 minutes. I'm gonna try though. I need to start painting, otherwise this is just going to stop. So in order to do morning dew, let's just paint a blade of grass, a few blades of grass, and I'm just gonna see if I can't make that work. If it doesn't work, then we'll just have to jump onto something else. So if we have some blades of grass in the foreground, you're watching yourself paint. The thing is, I'm watching myself paint live. Yeah, I don't have to do anything. Okay. So right now I am painting blades of grass, but I'm probably just I'm going to remove this one and put it up again and hope that this is better and more in sync. Because now I can just jump. So what we're going to do, because I do want to follow these suggestions. There we are. All right. I'm going to paint some blades of grass, and then we're just going to see if we can't manage to paint some Mountain Dew on top of those. Mountain Dew. some dew on top of those blades of grass. I would be really, really pleased if we managed that. They have to be quite large to kind of get the distance right. So we have to go really, really into the foreground. I'm going to put down a little rock here and here so that we can just really know how close we are. We are much closer than everything else here. And then we have the mist kind of coming in. We're trying, Luna. We are trying to keep a light heart. It is not easy. I could, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to, no, it's fine. I'm zen. It's fine. Well, thank you, Katha, for these suggestions. I mean, it's always a good thing to come out of the comfort zone, and it's kind of the point too with this. I am going to paint the things that you suggest. If I can't paint it, I'm going to have to learn it really, really quickly. So, all right, we have blades of grass. I'm going to paint them even a little bit bigger. Even a bit bigger than they are here. Put in a little bit of a blue shadow. And then the very, very scary part is not going to be quite live, but it's much more in sync now than it was. And we're going to see if we can't get some water droplets. Do that. Recently I started painting a cat as a gift, and it's been really fun. It is very scary to paint things for the first time, but I'm glad that you are challenging yourself. Definitely. Okay, let's go in a bit closer. Let's get this entire setup a little bit closer in here. So that we can see if we can't paint a water droplet. Okay. Let's have the camera just really zoom in. Focus this manually. And then waiting for the... Well, it's not going to sync. And then I'm just going to use really light white and see if I can't paint something round. This is scary. All right. So, all right. Let's try to paint a water droplet. It can't be too big. It's going to be something like this. We're gonna have a little... Well, I'm talking about painting it, but it's going to take a little while until it appears. But just trust me, I have now painted one water droplet. And it should appear very soon. So let's just wait a little bit until it appears. Because now I am painting the water droplet. We can see the brush. Take it. Well, the other Joachim is taking his time much more than I am. And let's just wait for him. So he is now painting the round part. And now that he's painting that water droplet, let me paint the next one. And we want a little bit of the color from the blade of grass into the water droplet. So as far as I understand, it kind of reflects it and flips it a bit. I need to study it a bit more to be able to do this more properly. But as far as I can understand, so the white part, it's round, so it's reflecting the sun. And the well, it's true. And let's get a little bit of that color from the blade of grass into the top of the water droplet. Otherwise, we can see through the color. That's fine. So we get some green into the top of it. I have to try to keep the roundness. Oh, no. Gonna paint a few more of these droplets. They are probably much too big. well, not entirely sure about this. I work on fantasy portraits. Also, oh, I can imagine. Normally, I don't paint faces. Having oh yeah, it is very interesting to challenge yourself. And let's just keep going here. So let's paint a little bit of that reflection from the sun. We could always, let's see, maybe a droplet kind of, maybe it's kind of drips. So of course the fog is kind of condensed into water droplets. I'm trying to, so there could be lots of water droplets, yes? Let's see here. So I'm just gonna have to keep going. I'm just gonna keep going, painting water droplets and see if this makes any sense. The best way to practice is just to do it, and then it kind of forces your mind to think about it and to learn. And then when you see it again, it then makes more sense and you can keep going. So it's really, if you want to learn something new, just do it, fail at it, and then try again, and you learn really, really quickly that way. I always find that you know that you're learning when it's difficult. I always know that I am not learning anything if it's easy, and so let's keep going. I am drawing mostly digitally. Well, share the account here. Just paste it into the message here. Don't feel that you can't share your accounts here. It would be lovely to have a link. I think if you share your account into the messages, it's possible to just click on it and it'll be a proper link for everyone, even if you watch this later. Oh, that's very kind of you, Jennifer. I am kind of terrified right now painting these droplets, but I'm learning, and let's just keep going. I mean, we could have a little droplet kind of coming down off of the tip here. I'm not sure if that's going to look strange, but we can. So if it's something like this, it's kind of formed on top of this. So what I was thinking is maybe there's something dripping down. I'm realizing that I'm actually trying to do more and more advanced things of something that I never done before. And I think the droplets, probably they should shine really white. I think that's the thing with water. The shine is always very bright or not. Let's see. So of course it's the sun that is reflecting itself in these droplets here. Whew. Thank you, Lynn. I I am absolutely going to practice them more, but I'm very glad that you are satisfied with them for now. Um, it is definitely something I want to practice much, much, much more. Um, but it's interesting to already try them out. Then I know what I'm going to be practicing. I've wanted to do water droplets for ages. And I mean, for instance, a droplet that then pops. I've kind of tried to figure out the logic of how it works, but it's not easy. What you are practicing already? Thank you, Luna. I very much appreciate you guys. Although I am absolutely going to keep practicing. And then after the stream, I'm just gonna run off and look at all morning mist that I can. It looks absolutely. Hmm. So, well, it's probably what I need to do is that these droplets are much bigger than I had kind of planned to do, and these blades of grass, they kind of need to come out of the of the painting, because they can't grow there. They have to be much bigger. With this level of detail, the blades of grass need to be absolutely enormous. Yeah, absolutely. Put links into your of your accounts. It would be wonderful to kind of connect everyone up with each other here. Okay, this is not the be all and end all of water droplets, but we have a few here. And it seems that I'm not going to say that the lag is not, it's gone, because that's going to make it appear. Whew. Well, we have a few water droplets at least. Uh, it definitely inspires me to continue practicing them. Don't post much on my account. It's very good. Yeah, just have your accounts in there. I really appreciate that. There we are. We have the different accounts. I really like that. Oh, it's always so. It just takes completely different kind of energy out of you to do something that's new. But it's good. I will practice more, and for the next stream, I will be much more ready to do the things very close up. Let's get these closer too. Let's now get the camera a little bit further away again. Sometimes it helps me to just look at my screen here to kind of see what you guys see. I am sure those water droplets kind of need to have the reflection of the leaf in them too, but I need to practice that more. What we could do is, let's see. Well, if there are no suggestions, I'm just going to keep painting a little bit on those trees until something comes up. I'm not sure how those water droplets can... Let's see. Well, we have them there now. A little bit of green into the top. Something like that. I mean, I could swear that the water droplets have a lot of different kinds of reflections in them. So I'm going to put a little bit more wind into the trees again. Oh, you're finding each other. Wonderful. Yeah, it's the same with as we did with the painting course, where you guys found one another. I think that is so wonderful. Oh, and there it's going. I think he means the comment. What? He means the comments part. I am not sure if we can see them in the chat. If this is film is. Oh, Not sure about that either. But I know that if when this is on YouTube, well, of course it's live now, but once it's just in the kind of the video, you should be able to put turning on the comments, the kind of the live stream comments, and it should at least find the names of the streams. I had hoped that they would link, but maybe they don't. I am thinking maybe we'll make a little bit of kind of a wind going over those mountains. Very good. You're busy finding one another. Yeah, so this painting is definitely not going to be finished now. I am going to practice those water droplets and figure out what we do here with them. I am a little bit more happy now that there's some green in them too. So I'm sure that has something to do with this roundness feel that droplets are supposed to have. But it's fun. First time ever I painted them. I have been thinking about painting droplets forever. Oh, no, you're welcome. Missed a spot. I have no idea who is actually watching this because I can only see the live chat. I can't actually see the any list of who's there because there's something wrong there too, as with all the other technical things here. But yeah, I think we know what we have to work with for the next one here. Once this is going to dry and we can have even more layers on it. And of course the other painting that we painted is going to dry and then we can go into that too. So it's going to be interesting to see how these develop throughout the live streams. Beautiful. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh yeah, I heard about that, Jennifer. I'm so sorry about your horse. Okay, we're getting some more movements into the tops of the trees here. And I think, of course, we would need to have some movement in the blades of grass with the water droplets, but that was just one thing too much. We'll have to figure out how to do that next time. Making water droplets fly off of the leaves, but that is definitely more advanced. Like so. Trying to figure out what more we can do here. Joachim, well, things are getting a bit difficult here with this painting. Since we painted wind on top of it, it's more difficult to go in now and do other things. and at the same time it kind of gives a little bit of an idea of the other things and what to do. I'm trying to kind of think of the next stages. Gossip. So what I'm thinking about is how to kind of harmonize the things. We have a few different flowers that are a little bit further away here. And then we have a next layer that is closer in here. So we have a lot of things that aren't fitting that well together. Of course, the stupid thing here is that I needed. Well, I have moved myself out of the frame of the painting, but that's going to take a while to come through. Next time, I think we can do all of these things, and I will have a better connection. We can absolutely have more reflections on the lake. But now our 2 hours are over, and I am just going to start cleaning my brushes, and at some point in the next few minutes that's going to come through in the screen here too. I am so glad that you actually stuck with me through these a lot of technical issues that we had here. I'm going to have a little bit more time next time before the stream goes live to figure out these issues. But I'm so glad that you joined me. We have... I will let him finish, definitely. And we have 2 paintings here. We have this one. I'm just going to put the other painting, and at some point, the other painting is going to make an appearance here. We can have 5 minutes of time just winding everything down, and this is going to dry. Yeah, I am. Jesus, he's taking his time, isn't he? He's still painting the trees. He is very slow, but that means I can do all of the setup things here. I'm gonna put the screen much further away. This is going to look nice. It looks nice here, and you will see it in a few minutes. I attempted to paint something during this live in the end, just blended it all together so I can start it another time. I do that quite often myself. I just paint something and I sometimes get so dissatisfied it's better to just get rid of it and start over. But at least you've kind of painted something and gotten into it. Very good, Kaylin. I think that's a very good idea. So the other painting here is going to dry, and we have a lot of interesting details here, I think, that we can continue on the next time. Yeah, it was great, Katha, and thank you for all of the suggestions, guys. It's a lot of fun, and we are going to have more and more repertoire of paintings that we have done together, which I think is a lot of fun, and we can kind of keep going, coming back to them, and these are just going to be live stream paintings, and at some point, I don't think we'll put these in the shop. Rather, maybe we'll have a kind of a giveaway where at the end, I haven't really decided what to do here yet, but definitely these paintings at some point need to come to one of you guys that have been with me within these live streams. Not entirely sure how we're going to do that, but these are definitely very special paintings painted in these live streams, and yeah, this one is going to dry, and we can, in the next live stream, then go on top of that again, and maybe we can get in some sun rays, and well, we'll follow the suggestions then too. Yeah, I think we're going to do something like that, Luna. I think that's going to be fun. I think that's going to be part of how these live streams, that these paintings definitely need to have one of you guys as a home, I think. Because these are definitely created together. It's not something that I have created alone. And we'll figure out how to do that. if we'll make a lottery or something like that. Absolutely, it's just such a different way of painting, and I'm so interested to see how these are going to turn out. I can already see that we're not going to finish even the first painting in the next one. I think there are going to be quite a lot of layers on these paintings, and we're all going to have collective memories to them, and of course they're always going to be in the stream. The history of these paintings. I think the camera froze. I hope not. My camera is still going, but it might have frozen. Well, this was one of those live streams where everything went wrong, but I'm so glad to still have you guys having been a part of this. The other Joachim seems to have managed to do everything he wanted to do. So goodbye. Thank you for joining me. And I'm just gonna let everyone say goodbye here. And hopefully I'll see you in the next stream. They are going to turn out so interesting, these paintings. Really, really interesting. Thank you, Luna. Absolutely. And thank you, Jennifer, and thank you, Katha, Drobri, Aman, and Lynn, for being a part of this. From the Himalayas to the States, to the Central Europe, to Norway. Thank you, everyone. And I'll see you in the next one.